What's up YouTube, this is Ryan from AnnihilatorMTG here, and I'm back again with some more Modern. This week, we're going to be revisiting Burn, and there's no better time to do so, especially after the release of the new Kamigawa set. You see, there have been some rumblings going on within the Burn community, particularly over the card Reinforced Ronin. With myself just being a random spectator, I figured why not see what all the hype, or lack thereof, is all about. So let's take a look at this card. We have a 2/2 hasty creature for a single red mana. As you can imagine, a stat line like that simply cannot exist in this format without some kind of downside or deck building requirement. In this case, the Ronin essentially has a permanent quote-unquote dash effect. This means that every time we want this card to get in for damage, its mana cost must be paid. In most early game scenarios, Goblin Guide or Monastery Swiftspear are both going to be infinitely better than this card. That dash effect has some interesting advantages, however. For one, it essentially gives this card protection from sorceries. By the time your opponent's able to cast Prismatic Ending, for instance, this thing is already sitting comfortable back in your hand. Another great interaction is with Ragavan or Archmage's Charm. Your opponent simply cannot steal this thing long term. As if that wasn't enough, it also gives us a non-insignificant advantage against cards like Leyline. We now have 16 sources of creature-based damage. This is a huge deal. It almost makes me consider Zoo or some kind of Naya build. The activated ability is great too, but I'd have to do some proper testing to see what it's really like. Outside of Ronin, one great thing about running this archetype in the current meta is just how hilariously good our sideboard is. Is your opponent playing Reanimator or Rakdos midrange? Sanctifier gets it done. How about Affinity? Smash to Smithereens is your best friend. Cascade and Evoke are pretty good, what about that? Roiling Vortex eats those strategies for breakfast. And my personal favorite against Hammer Time is the ever-hilarious Deflecting Palm. This card is stupid for all the right reasons. All in all, Burn is a classic, so let's see if Ronin is a worthy inclusion or just another gimmick. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent. Best of luck to you, my friend. And this hand looks excellent. Definitely keeping this one. Let's start things off with an Arid Mesa, which will crack for a Sacred Foundry. Then we can cast our dude, attack their face, and see what they're playing. They play a Concealed Courtyard into a Thoughtseize, discarding the Boros Charm. Ooh, nice, we drew an Eidolon. Let's not waste any time by jamming a Horizon Land, then we'll cast the Eidolon, attacking them yet again. They're at 16 life. If the Eidolon can stick around, we pretty much have this one in the bag. Up next, they play an Urza Saga, only to cast a copy of the Underworld Cookbook. This can help them a lot, but in the short term, it certainly hurts them. Wow, and they even followed up with a Thoughtseize. They take the Lava Spike and go all the way down to 10, drawing another Horizon Land, figures. Let's play one of them. Then we'll suspend the Rift Bolt, attacking them for 3. They're at 7. By having 3 damage worth of creatures on the board, we're more or less mitigating their life gain potential. Speaking of which, they generate a food token. Then we see a Glimmer Void. That's different. After passing straight through, we'll cash in our Horizon Land. That's a creature. Then the Rift Bolt comes off suspend, taking us down to 13 life and them down to 4. Searing Blaze is good, but I don't think we're going to see an Asmo. So I guess we'll just play the Horizon Land, then cast our dude, attacking them with a team. Whoa, is that a Lantern? No way. Alright, they gain some life off the token. That leaves them at 1. Then they generate some more. Looks like they're just going to float some mana before the saga goes away. No, wait, they changed their mind? This is huge. Before they get their artifact, let's Searing Blaze the construct, and that gets it done. Nice. There's good news and bad news. The good news is that we have plenty of ways to answer artifacts, and the bad news is that Lantern is such a weird archetype. So I guess we'll just cut the playset of Searing Blaze, that way we can bring in 3 copies of Smash to Smithereens and a singleton copy of Shattering Spree. Looks good to me. This hand looks to be about as good as it gets, and I hope it is, because that, my friends, is a Leyline. Goodness. They start things off with a Spire of Industry into a Cookbook. We draw another land. Let's play it. Then we'll cast the Goblin, attacking them and revealing an Ancient Stirrings. They're at 18 life. Up next, they play a Blooming Marsh and cast the Ancient Stirrings, getting a Lantern. There it is. That'll reveal a Welding Jar on their side and another creature on ours. We draw it. Let's smash their life gain engine. Before it dies, they generate a token. Then we'll swing in. Before the trigger resolves, they break their Lantern, which causes a shuffle. Oh geez, and we reveal an Ensnaring Bridge? We might be toast. Or maybe not, as they cast a Prismatic Ending. Looks like they're having mana trouble. trebles. That's an Eidolon. Let's jam the Horizon land, then cast it straight away. Oh, whoops, kinda did that out of order. Either way, here's a Ronin, attacking them for 2. They're at 10. The Ronin returns to our hand. During their main phase, they cast a rather unfortunate Inquisition of Kozilek. Truth be told, this does almost nothing positive for them. Regardless, they take the Boros Charm. It kinda feels like they know it's over. Well, we're gonna have to test that as we draw another Ronin. Let's cast Ronin number 1, then Ronin number 2, then we'll jam the Goblin, attacking them straight away, revealing a Lantern, and it looks like that'll do it. GG's, opponent. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent. Best of luck to you, my friend. And this hand is okay. I think we'll keep, but only to be aggressive. Let's start things off with a Horizon land into a Swiftspear, attacking them for 1 and taking their life total down to 19. They get things rolling with an Inkmoth Nexus, only to cast a Springleaf Drum. Here comes an Ornithopter. That allows them to cast a copy of Sigarda's Aid. Well, we might be super dead. We draw Ronin number 2. Holding up the Lightning Bolt just to play defensively sounds miserable, so we'll cast a Ronin, attacking them for 3 damage. The Ronin returns to my hand. Up next, they play and crack a Marshflats, grabbing themselves a basic Plains. Weirdly enough, they pass through to their second main phase. Looks like they want to cast a Stoneforge, tutoring for a Hammer, which they cast immediately. That'll attach itself to the Thopter. No idea why they didn't just do that pre-combat and get in for big damage. That aside, I think we're going to go for the quick concession. We played pretty terribly there, kept a hand that we shouldn't have, and didn't really play around the Hammer. Luckily for us, half of our sideboard is perfect at dealing with their strategy. Now it's just a matter of choosing what to side out. I hate to do it, but I think we're going to cut the full playset of Ronin and 2 copies of Lightning Helix. That way we can bring in a singleton Shattering Spree, 3 copies of Smash to Smithereens, and 2 Deflecting Palms. Looks good to me. This hand is looking pretty good. We'll keep. Let's jam the Sacred Foundry and suspend a Rift Bolt. This gives us the most options in terms of bolting their face versus hitting the board. They lead off with a Flooded Strand, which they crack immediately, grabbing a basic Plains. There's the Sigarda's Aid. They always seem to have it. The Rift Bolt comes off suspend, hitting them for 3, drawing a Searing Blaze. Let's play the Horizon land, then we'll cast Skewer the Critics. Same thing for the Lava Spike. We're halfway there. They jam basic Plains number 2 and cast a Stoneforge Mystic, tutoring for a Shadow Spear. This is potentially indicative of them having a Hammer. Either that or they're feeling the pressure. We draw a Timely Horizon land, let's play it, then we'll cast the Searing Blaze. Getting some direct damage in is really quite important, but even more so is leaving them creatureless. Not for long, as they cast an Ornithopter. Then we see the Hammer. That'll attach itself to their dude. Adding the Shadow Spear into the mix is truly terrifying. They play a fetch and send it back. Drawing a Lightning Bolt, excellent. Might as well go for it, so let's bolt their face. Then we'll hit them with a Charm, and that'll do it. Nice. I don't think we really need to change anything, so let's try it again. Ooh boy, this hand is spectacular, keeping this one every day of the week. After mulliganing, they play a tapped Hollowed Fountain and nothing else. We draw a Lightning Bolt, amazing. Let's play the Inspiring Vantage and cast a Goblin, attacking them for 2 and revealing a Sigarda's Aid, of course. They play an Inkmoth Nexus, then to my surprise, they jam a copy of the Reality Chip. That would be an Eidolon. Let's play a Sacred Foundry and go on the defensive. Here comes the Sigarda's Aid, then we see a copy of Springleaf Drum. They play a Windswept Heath and send it back. I guess we'll just cast the Lightning Bolt, hitting a Boros Charm. Let's play and crack our fetch for a basic mountain. Then we'll suspend the Rift Bolt. On our end step, they crack their fetch for a basic. Then they play another one, cracking it immediately for another basic. After taking a short reprieve, I'm operating under the assumption that they think we have Deflecting Palm. This gives us a window to cast Boros Charm. The Rift Bolt comes off suspend and hits them for 3. There's a Skewer the Critics. We have no reason not to cast it. During their main phase, they cast a Memnite. Seems like they want to reconfigure the Reality Chip. I guess that's it. We draw a copy of Searing Blaze. We could win here, but I want to play around removal. Let's swing in, drawing them a land. They block with a Memnite. It dies. Alright, they're animating an Inkmoth Nexus. Make that 2. After attacking with both lands, they flash out a Hammer. We know that one of their cards is a land, but the rest is a mystery. That'll equip to an Inkmoth. No time like the present, let's cast the Deflecting Palm. The spell resolves, and we get the win. GG's, opponent. Alrighty, looks like we found our opponent. Best of luck to you, my friend, and this hand seems good enough. Let's get things rolling with a basic mountain into a Swiftspear, attacking them for 1. They're at 19. They play a Wooded Foothills and nothing else. We draw a copy of Boros Charm, not bad. I think we're just going to play the Sacred Foundry, then jam the Eidolon, attacking them once again. Then they crack their fetch for a Stomping Ground. That leaves them at 17. We see them play another fetch and send it back. That would be Eidolon number 2. 2. Before anything else, let's swing in for 3. They're at 14 life. Then to put the screws on, let's cast another Eidolon, and they scoop it up. Nice. So unfortunately, we didn't really see anything that would be useful to us in terms of sideboarding. With that in mind, I think we're just going to cut the 2 copies of Lightning Helix. That way we can bring in 2 copies of Roiling Vortex. Looks good to me. I'm not against keeping 1-landers, but this one isn't exactly tempting. Let's try it again. Much better, we'll keep and ship a land. They start things off with a basic forest, only to cast a Utopia Sprawl. That doesn't really clarify much. We draw Boros Charm, so I guess we'll just jam the Inspiring Vantage, then suspend a Riftbolt. Up next, they play an untapped Stomping Ground into a Pillage. Ooh, okay, so we're dealing with Ponza. The Riftbolt will come off suspend, hitting them for 3. Then we draw Swiftspear. Excellent. Let's play a basic, then cast it immediately, attacking them for 1. They're at 14. Keeping things competitive as they play another forest and bolt our dude. That's fine because we have replacements. Let's suspend another Riftbolt and cast the Goblin, attacking them for 2. That reveals a copy of Utopia Sprawl. Yikes, but they flash out Endurance. There goes our Goblin. As expected, they cast the Utopia Sprawl, then get in for damage, passing immediately thereafter. The Riftbolt comes off suspend. That takes them down to 11. Drawing another creature, let's cast it. Then we'll swing in, revealing an elf. That'll get bolted as well. And to add insult to injury, they cast a spicy Weather the Storm. Fun. I don't think we really need to change anything, we just have to be aware of some of their more problematic cards. Yeah, this should be fine. This hand has potential, but I don't really like it in a Game 3 situation. Much better, we'll keep and ship a land. To get things started, let's play an Inspiring Vantage, then suspend the Riftbolt. They lead off with a basic forest into an Arbor Elf. That's cool. This puts us in a philosophical quandary of whether or not to bolt the bird. Let's do it. We draw a Goblin. Think we'll just play a basic, then cast our Eidolon. Up next, they play and crack their fetch for 1 of their own. Then they bolt our dude, taking some damage on the way out. Unfortunately, we draw another land. Let's play it. Then cast the Goblin. Same thing for the Lava Spike. Attacking them for 2. That leaves them at 12 life. Oh wow, and they untap and pass straight through. Drawing a Skewer the Critics. Let's play our Horizon land, then hard cast it. Attacking them yet again. They're at 7. It would appear that their mana troubles are over, but we draw an insanely clutch Eidolon. Gonna cast that straight away. That results in our dude getting hit with a bolt. They crack their fetch in response, seemingly just to get it out of the way. Then the spell resolves. On their main phase, they play and crack another one, getting a basic. Then they windmill slam a Chandra, down-ticking to answer our dude. I guess we'll just cash in the Horizon land for what appears to be another Horizon land. The more the merrier, let's just have another one. Second verse, same as the first. We'll play one and cash it in. That's a Lightning Bolt, might as well cast it. Before anything else, they uptick their Chandra. Then we see a Blood Moon of all things. That's an interesting choice. They play a land and send it back. We hit the world's most underwhelming Searing Blaze. Since Blood Moon turns our Horizon lands into simple mountains, we'll keep one in hand for the landfall. And boy, was that a good idea. They cast a Bloodbraid Elf, cascading into a Scavenging Ooze. Then they uptick and attack us for 3. That's a creature. Let's play a land, then cast it. Here comes the Searing Blaze. And that'll do it. GG's opponent. And there you have it. Burn, as per usual, is truly excellent. Unfortunately, I have zero clue if Ronin was actually good enough to be a regular inclusion in the deck. In certain situations, it felt really strong, and it actually makes me want to try out different versions of the build. Something more zoo-inspired, and perhaps a return to the old Naya Burn strategies. Either way, playing this deck was a ton of fun, and you simply cannot go wrong with Burn. Slight personal update, I'm not sure if I came down with something, but my energy is just non-existent right now, so I apologize if at any point in the video things sounded less than ideal. Fact of the matter is, the support recently has been world-class, and you all deserve an equal amount of effort from myself in return. I'll do my best to rest up this weekend. I've just been really stretching it thin lately. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This stuff truly does help, so thank you, and as always, stay safe out there and have a good one.